some point in your life you might need to drive a ground rod into the ground. Now this ground rod is maybe 8 feet. Let's see, I'm 5'9", 6, maybe 8 feet, maybe 9 feet. It's pretty darn hard to get a hammer up there. In fact, I would say it's impossible. So if you can't get a hammer up there, that means you're going to try to stand on a ladder, balance this, hammer on it, and not squish your fingers or have your hammer miss and knock you off the ladder. Well, they make pole pounder things, but generally, that's about all you can use a pole pounder for, is pounding a pole. And sometimes you just want to pound a pole, and it's the only pole you want to pound. So you need a little something that you can make that's quick and easy to pound the pole and get on with your life. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a pole pounder. Now, I used to have a Monster Maul, which made a pretty good pole pounder, but I moved off and left it. So what I'm going to make my pole pounder out of is a piece of PVC pipe and a big heavy sledgehammer and some tape. Simple as that. And I'm going to start by, and I'm not using very strong tape because when I'm through, I'm going to take the tape off of this. It's not going to live on here forever. It's just going to go on here for long enough for me to pound a pole with it. So we're going to put the tape right here. Now the thing about pounding a pole is you don't need to exert your downward pull on the hammer. You let the hammer do the work. Pretty much all you need to do is lift the hammer and let it fall on the pole or the rod. So what this is going to allow us to do is to lift that hammer up without actually having to reach up over our head and then let it fall down on this thing. Now, I'm not going to try to lift that hammer. Instead, I'm going to put the hammer up in a little piece of PVC pipe. And by the way, if you have a bigger something to pound, you can always get a bigger piece of PVC pipe to pound it with. So that what you can pound is only limited by what you have available to pound it with. Go. One thing to remember is to let the hammer do the work. Don't try to yank the hammer down. Just raise it up, let it fall. Another thing I can do is rest. I don't have to do it all at once. Yes, sir, Bob. I've only got really another 6 or so inches before I have to take this off and then drive it the rest of the way with a hammerhead. All right, we can do that, I think. Okay, that's enough for today. I'll come back and finish that. It won't take much to drive that down the rest of the way later. Oh, the joy. So I'll say this about my little homemade do-it-yourself hammer thingy. Because I used masking tape on there, the pipe would tend to, started out good and then it kind of twisted a little, which let the thing go past down here. And probably if I'd have, instead of using tape, if I'd have used cable ties, I could have gotten a tighter grip on this to keep that lined up. However, I was still able to get it down in the ground. I've almost got it finished. When they're down low in the ground like this, I've only got about another foot to go. Instead of swinging it over your head, and I should mention I was a hammer slinger from my very first job. I drove stakes in the ground for concrete. I got pretty good at it. But it's a lot easier when you're doing something like this just to hold your hammer like this. Do it this way. Instead of slinging it over your head. One thing, if you sling it over your head, you're aiming at a pretty small thing, and if you either miss it or even graze off the side of it, it's liable to hit something that you don't want to hit. But you got a lot more control when you're hammering like this. And the thing to remember is to let the weight of the hammer do the work. You don't have to shove it down real hard. It just kind of goes down. You lift it up, it kind of goes down by itself. Now, it doesn't make me very tired, but I'm an old man. Some of you young fellers, you do this all day long. Won't even bother you. That's what I'd say. Y'all have a nice day. I'll finish this up now. We'll talk some more later. Bye.